I get it.
I'm human, and it seems like there's so, like, I mean, it's been like 100, and I've called, and people who've asked me to call back, I follow up, and then they never answer, and I leave messages, and I've been sending newsletters and emails and follow-up emails and follow-ups and videos, and it's just like, it's like, that's a lot, and it's been really disheartening.
Well, I mean, you're probably not going to like my answer, but
that's okay. I didn't sign up to have things sugar-coated.
Well, I'm glad that's your attitude. Do you truly believe that this strategy will work?
I did, but lately after all of this, I've been having doubts, but it's not so much about the strategy itself. It feels like I'm the one with the problem. Like, I must be doing something wrong, or like putting out some kind of like negative energy, or blocking myself somehow. So it's not about the strategy itself.
Well, what I'll tell you, and I'll kind of approach this from a few different angles, because listen, there's absolutely zero judgment in regards to what you've shared, or any doubts or any concerns, or just anything regarding this situation. What I would say is that I've been many entrepreneurs, obviously, we face this type of situation where we're just not seeing success. We feel like we're beating our heads up against a wall at times. So let me come at it from the first angle. Like, when I first started this business, and several of the people that have gone through this program, they need to make money. They need to make it now. And when you have that energy, if you're really needing clients, people can kind of feel that on the phone. But it's also the kind of the energy that you're putting out there. It's, you want to, do your best to be free when you get on the phone, where you're free whether they say yes or whether they say no. And what I'll do is I will do a release not only today, but I'll do a release and put it inside the training to prepare everyone for getting on the phone. Whether that's, someone who's booked a call with you through your Facebook ad strategy, whether that's calling out and reaching out to these people after they've requested, information on your program or your lead magnet. And also when someone's booked a call through your webinar. The biggest thing that you can do is be free. Before I go, let me ask real quick, did you see the post that I made about, going after certain job titles, people that who have money?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, I posted the top 25 highest paying careers in the forum. And I said, you can actually target job titles just like I target yoga teachers, the job titles, when I send out Facebook ads. So for instance, you can say physician. It could be, pediatrician. It could be all these different careers that those people have money. And since Facebook has taken out the income range where you can actually target people, we used to be able to target people who made 40 to 50, 50 to 75, 75 to 125, and then it went all the way up to 500,000 plus. I was sharing with you, I didn't think wealth management was really going to help you much, but you tested it. What I would say now is I would focus more on job titles where for a fact that people make good money. And it's not that we're saying I'm only going to work with these people, but for the time being, for right now, to get your feet off the ground, and get you a couple clients. Let's focus on people who have money.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that I really need is people who are actually going to be committed. Like, that seems to be the other hindrance, you know, is people say, like, because I see it in my nutrition business, like, yes, they want to get on board. Yes, they have things they want to change. Yes, they want to do this. But then when it actually boils down to doing the work, they're like, oh, this is really hard. You know, like, oh, this is a lot. I don't have time for this. And they come up with 5,000 excuses about why they don't have time to eat healthy. So, like, it goes beyond just like the financials, but like, I need people who are like willing to be coachable and ready to commit.
Well, it sounds like your focus is going towards the people that you don't want versus the people that you do.
Right.
And again, like, these are, listen, for a long time, especially when I was struggling. I mean, I don't need to go into long stories, but there's been times, you know, in the beginning where I was struggling, and that's the type of clients that I was attracting, those who were also struggling, and those who didn't have money, those who were, you know, not in a situation where they were in a good mindset, and those that did enter the program weren't committed, weren't willing to change their lives. And I sum it up very quickly for people. If you want a yoga business, and you can separate, you know, substitute yoga business for life. If you want a yoga business that you've never had, you have to do things you've never done. And it's the same thing if you want a different life. Like, listen, let's be real. You did not make this investment just so you could go back to the same life you had before. We both know that you have to do something different in order to get a different life. It's just common sense. Are you willing to put in the work? Do you honestly, genuinely, in your heart, want to change your life? And what we're doing, I mean, that's one of the benefits when you do start creating your webinar. I mean, you can start doing it in your Facebook ads. Talk to who you want to work with. Tell them, like, listen, we only work with people who are committed to changing their lives. Tell them that. Tell them exactly who you want to work with. Even if you end up paying more per click, if you get better leads, then it's worth it. How much are you selling your signature program for?
Well, I was doing your suggestion of $3,000.
Mm-hmm. Listen, I'm going to say it again. We're not doing anything differently than, like, for instance, I've given the example several times, and it's such a great example that I just have to use it again and again, is the AsanaAcademy.com. My friend Brian, he has a 12-week handstand course. You learn how to do a press handstand. It's total core transformation, as he puts it. He sells it for $10,000. $10,000. And he did over $1 million in the last 6 months alone. In fact, April, he almost made $300,000 in 1 month. We're not doing anything like, so a lot of this is definitely coming down to mindset. Do you believe that you will get the end result that you're looking for? That you will find a way, that you will make it happen? Because I mean it when I say that success is a decision. When you decide, you know what, I know this hasn't been working, but I'm going to make it work. I'm going to find a way. And you don't need to know the how. You know,
I feel like I've been, I mean, like, all the things that I've done up till now, like, you know, calling strangers, creating ads, like even creating videos, like, I would have never done any of that stuff if it weren't for this program. So, like, I'm already doing things that I've never done before. Like, I'm already stepping out and like putting myself out there, you know, and doing those things. And even actually before the call today, like, even though yesterday I said in my post, I need to take a break, I didn't. I called more people today. Like, like, I'm still putting myself out there. And like, even before I made those calls, I said to myself, you know what? Pardon my language, Ryan, but I said, fuck it. I have nothing to lose right now. Like, literally nothing to lose. And I made those calls, and one person didn't have a voicemail that was set up. One person's voicemail box was full, and the other person, I left a message, and I'm not quite sure what I'm missing. I understand what you're saying about mindset, and I've definitely been checking myself on that.
Well, let me take a step back. What I'd like for you to do is I would like you to sit down and describe what your ideal conversation would be like. How would it be?
Like right now?
No, not necessarily right now, no. But how would it be? I mean, we can. Listen, you're the only person on the call, which, you know what? Listen, people have invested a lot of money in this training, so it surprises me when people don't show up on these calls, because this is one of the most valuable times. Because it's one thing to have the strategy in place, it's another thing to actually make the clients come to fruition. So for those of you that could be on this call and you're not, shame, shame, shame. No, I mean, please watch the recording, because, at the same time, like, this is where the rubber meets the road. I can get you leads, as you know, Lonnie, all day long. That's not an issue. It's not an issue. And relatively cheaply. I mean, actually, you guys are getting leads at a much cheaper rate than I was. I was typically paying about $10 per lead. But the thing is that I felt like for instance, we only did this strategy for like a month. We had 27 leads and we got 4 sales out of it. And the reason that I didn't continue with the strategy is not because it didn't work, is because our cost per lead was lower with webinars, and the conversation was easier to transition to, talking about the Yoga Mastermind, versus just kind of taking someone from the initial conversation where they didn't really know too much about us other than the lead magnet that we sent out. So that's why we stopped doing it. We just tested just to make sure it worked before I taught it to you guys. So anyways, what I would recommend is sitting down and writing out how this conversation would go. The ideal sales conversation would go for you. First, how would you feel before you got on the phone? What would be your ideal state? What would be the ideal?
Confident.
Yeah. Well, again, let's do this right now. You're the only person on the call, so we'll make this a one-on-one call right now.
Okay.
So do you have a pen and paper?
Yes, I do.
Cool. Where are you at, by the way?
Like in terms of where I'm at in the world, or where am I at?
No, like in your car or in your home.
Oh no, right now I'm at home.
Okay. I always have this tendency to think that when people on their cell phones are in their car, or they're somewhere else. Is the internet being a little tricky today?
It seems like it's been a little weird because we've had some weather coming in the past couple of days. Like, we've got a small hurricane that's going to be coming into our territory either tomorrow or early Friday. So usually when that happens, everything gets just weird.
I don't know why that made me think of my ex-girlfriend. She had a shirt that says, "You're weird." I like that.
Oh. Well, it's pretty much, things get weird. And the way things work here is they shut things down before anything happens, because we've got really antiquated systems. So they'll turn off the power before the storm actually gets here, just in anticipation. So, yeah.
Well, I'm gonna kind of open up Damn it, you're on your phone. You can't see my screen, can you?
Nope.
Shit. Okay. All right. I was just gonna share with you. I mean, there's situations that happen all the time in my business where like we're really hitting the flow, and then all of a sudden we have to we take a step back and we have to figure things out. For instance, I just brought on a new Facebook ads manager and her team, and we're getting like tons and tons of webinar registrations. Tons. People are ecstatic at like a 30% opt-in rate. That means that of 10 people that click on your webinar ad, 30% of those people opt in and watch the webinar, or they opt in to get the information. Well, we're getting like the lowest on one of our ads we're getting is 30%. On average, we're getting between 45 and like 52%, which is just unheard of. And we're getting like webinar registrations for like $2.25 on one campaign, which is also unheard of. My last Facebook ads manager, we were averaging between $7 and $12, which was a lot higher than I wanted to go to, but we're still experiencing success. What I'm getting to is that even though we've got all these new leads, all these people registering for the webinar, for some reason, people aren't booking calls. I don't know what it is. Not at the rate that we were before. So it's an opportunity to take a look at this and see where, you know, those pockets of opportunity is and where we're dropping the ball. But underneath it all, I know we're going to figure it out. Like, I know we're going to figure it out. Like, there's like no other option. Like, success for me is no other option. Within the next month and a half, we will be at 100K per month. There is no other option. And so that's one of the things that, and again, these are always my opinions. So it's not always applicable to the person that I'm giving the advice to. What I've also seen is that sometimes, like, it is a matter of simply adjusting something slightly. Because listen, Lonnie, you're like that seed that is being watered underneath the soil, and you are right at the top of the soil. You are ready to poke your head through. Lonnie, first off, I know you're freaking going to be successful. And don't ever apologize for saying the word, fuck it, or 2 words. Like, listen, I trust yogis more when they do cuss versus when they don't. Like, I'm like, okay, well, this one's, she's willing to be a little bit more real. So you are that seed that's right about to poke your head above the soil. You're right there, and you're struggling, and this is right when it's so important to continue to move forward. Because I hope you know, and I hope you have that belief that if you continue to keep pressing forward, you will figure it out. You absolutely will figure it out. There is zero doubt in my mind, if you continue forward at the attitude that you have and the heart that you have, that you will figure it out. What I would say is, number 1, write down what the ideal sales conversation looks like for you. How are you going to be? What is your mental state? How do you feel before you get on the phone? When you call that person, how do they respond? How does that look? How does that conversation go? Are you making a friend? Do you feel like this is someone that you've known for a long time? Like, there's this instant connection, there's this instant flow? And is this someone that your program is just the natural progression in their life, and they've been looking for this opportunity? You could seriously just sit there and think about people that need this opportunity, that want this opportunity, and that's who you're connecting with. Because right now, again, what you're connecting with, and it's listen, you're a human being, like you said. You're connecting with the frustration. You're connecting with people that aren't ready to make the commitment. And that's where your focus is going right now. And again, it's easy, it's natural. But it takes a conscious effort to focus on what it is that you really do want. Because again, like, it's so funny. Like, people, when it comes to goals, when we talk about this kind of stuff, they're like, I mean, we kind of acknowledge it. Sometimes we embrace it. Sometimes we're like, you know what, just give me the way to be successful. But yet, as yogis, we openly know that our outer world is simply a reflection of our inner world, of our what's going on in our minds. So when I try to relate it in terms of goals, like, some people just don't want to acknowledge it. They don't want to make that connection. But it's like, listen, if you know that your outer world is simply a result of what's going on inside, then why don't we work on what's inside and work on what it is that you really want? And get back to that belief. But listen, with the last half hour, I'm going to do a release, because I feel like you've got so much emotion. You've got a lot of pressure. I know that during this program, obviously there was an investment to begin with. Then you I think you told me, and I'm not saying too much information, but you refinanced your home and you were able to, get some type of, money back or whatever. But then you had to buy another car. Your car broke down. So like, you were in kind of like the financial situation where you have to make things work, and every single time, not every single time, a lot of times when you have to make something work and you feel that pressure to make money, it comes through in your calls, because your focus is on that you don't have the money versus, okay, I'm going to make this work and I'm going to make this money roll. I'm going to bring in these clients who are going to be the perfect fit for my program. And this is going to be a win-win for everyone. I'm going to bring in clients who really need my expertise, who really need this program. And, as this beautiful byproduct, I'm going to be able to take care of my financial situation. And so I want to go back to that fact that you have a lot to offer the world, Lonnie, and you've already been offering it. Now you're just getting smarter about it. You're putting together even more powerful program. And even if you had this program before, even if you had your signature program before and you were charging $1,000 and the only thing that you did was raise your price to $4,000, you would actually get better results with your clients, because they're more invested. They're more energetically invested in your program. They're more energetically invested in changing their life. They're more committed to it. They're determined to get something out of it because they've invested more. So I've said a lot. What's coming up for you at this point?
I guess, honestly, like, just, what's the word I'm looking for? Determination again. Like, every time I speak to you, I always feel like a new sense of resolve. Like, okay, I can keep going, and the thing is, like, I know what I have to offer. Yesterday I gave a seminar on nutrition, and the woman who I shared the seminar with she's a doctor of psychology. And she said to me, she's like, you gave a wonderful presentation and you're very knowledgeable. So, like, I know what I know, and I know what I have to offer. And in my program, these people are getting all of it. They're getting the yoga, meditation, nutrition, like, they're getting it all. And I feel like $3,000 is a very fair price. If they were to pursue all of that individually, they would be spending a hell of a lot more money. So, like, just
and
listening.
I just want to briefly say that that's why I made the post the other day inside the group, that we do not price our signature program based upon the amount of hours that we work, and we don't base it upon those, like, what people are doing in our area, our competition. We base it upon the results and the benefits that we provide people. So if you have someone, like, let's just on the most simple level, because you've talked about I am not enough. That's kind of the core of your signature program. If you bring someone to the point in their life where they feel like they are enough, that changes their whole experience in life. And first off, it is priceless. Without a doubt, it's priceless. I mean, I do believe that you could charge 7 to 10 grand. I do. I really, 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 really do. I'm not saying you need to increase it. I mean, maybe you start off at 3,000, you get your feet underneath you, you build confidence, and then you realize, you know what, I do offer a lot. And that's fine. It's just like the same thing for me. Like, I sold my first yoga mastermind coaching program for $1,000. And then immediately I was like, dude, what are you doing, man? Like, you offer so much. So immediately my next customer was 2,000. Within 2 to 3 weeks, I was at 3,000. And it just kept going up because I knew I offered so much more value. So right now, I think there's a multitude of things probably going on. Number one, you feel probably a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I'm a single mom.
Yeah.
Like this is it for me. I mean, I gave up everything to focus, on my company. So this is it.
Well, then I know you're going to be successful because you went all in.
I did.
We talk to teachers every single day that aren't willing to make that, aren't willing to do that. We have even people in this program who still have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. It's those who actually completely commit 100% that are like, no matter what, I'm going to make it work. It's the same thing. I think people maybe don't always respond to this example, but when you get married or when you have a relationship, you go all in. You got to go all in. You got to, no matter what, I'm going to make it work. And the reason I say that doesn't always work for some people is because the divorce rate's like 50 or 60%. So they're like, what's So, but we all know that. I was talking to I had a health coach for a while because I was going through burnout. I was just working, and even though I was burnt out, I just kept working.
Yeah.
And I knew I had to take a step back.